Dostoevsky did not like Ukrainians. He did not like Serbs either. And the Poles irritated him. To make sure of this, let's take a look at a book with the memoirs of his contemporaries. Here are the notes left by Khrystyna Alchevska, a prominent Kharkiv teacher of the time. Her parents were Serbs and Romanians, but she considered herself a true Ukrainian. After the Ukrainian language was banned by Valuev circular, she was forced to change the language of instruction at her school from Ukrainian to Russian. So, she had a personal conversation with Dostoevsky and left a note about it in her diary. Dostoevsky accuses Serbs and Ukrainians of hindering the development of the great Russian culture because of their love for their native language and culture. For this reason, he calls them harmful members of society. It turns out that the great Russian culture cannot develop as long as there exist other cultures on the territory of the Russian Empire. According to Dostoevsky, Ukrainians hold a grudge and are hostile to Russians. And why is that? Probably because they are nationalists and Banderites. This is what the carriers of the great Russian culture still say. But Russians, according to Dostoevsky, are generous to other nationalities. Don't you see a clear contradiction between this statement by Dostoevsky and the fact that he calls Ukrainians and Serbs harmful members of society? Dostoevsky also dislikes the personal independence of Ukrainians, which is reflected in the Ukrainian family. I had a video on my channel about the difference in family traditions between Ukrainians and Russians. Dostoevsky goes on to express his indignation at the fact that Pashkov, a well-known Protestant preacher in Russia, has given shelter to 2 Polish women in his home. He says, how can he do this? He should have pitied the Russians. And indeed, why should one feel sorry for Poles? They are also harmful members of society and hinder the development of the great Russian culture. By the way, the Russian authorities, at the behest of the Russian Orthodox Church, expelled Colonel Pashkov from Russia. If he had not been rich and influential, he would have been sent to Siberia. And so he managed to go to London. So that's what great Russian culture is like. You can also watch videos about the peculiarities of religious life under Moscow's rule on my channel. Please subscribe.